All right, this is part 2. We started off with the Ouija board as part 1, and we're going to go deeper into channeling. All right, when I was young, it was called mediumship, and a person would channel a medium of some form. It would come from the astral plane, psychic worlds, whatever words you're used to. All right, when I was 14, I worked with one of the top psychics in the United States who worked for the New York Psychic Center, and they tested her every week and all kinds of things. So when I was working with her, I had to test her and prove to myself that she was as real, and she's as true as what I can find, because most people didn't even believe it at the time. So I did multiple challenges to her to see if she was really telling me the truth, or if she could really see things. In a short period of time, I proved that everything she said was real. And I can't say a psychic in general, out of all the psychics I met within the past 25 years, come close to that. Most of them talk and say things like, oh, everything's okay. Now, if you want to live with everything's okay, live it, because we live in a world where everything's okay, if you want to accept that. If you want to look at the truth, like people starving, dying, storms, major storms, earthquakes, and all the other things that are affecting our planet, tsunamis, maybe you might be a little more aware of the truth, like chemtrails and the HARP system. I don't want to go there for this one, but I want to get back to channelers. Now, I was on the lecture scene for a few years and meeting with many of the top psychics out there, are channelers. And they all say simple things. They don't get complicated. I can say all the names right now. There's not too many really big name channelers, but there are a few, and I met with them. After they channel, you leave there with this idea that everything's great, everything's going to be okay. Really, what do they tell you? What do they give you? Absolutely nothing, except the false idea that you're spiritual, and you're going to become even more spiritual. People need to reflect on that. I've been talking about this for 2 years now. What does spiritual mean? Most people will say, well, I care about feeding the homeless. I care about... And what are you doing about it? If you really care about feeding the homeless, how many people you feed in a day? How many people you feed in a week? So when people say, well, I don't abuse my children, well, maybe that's just living in a peaceful, compassionate way of life that you should be living in. Okay, again, what does spiritual mean? The definition in a dictionary is very simple, but the problem is, when that person wrote the definition, was he God-realized? Was he self-realized? Did he understand God? Did he understand spirit? Very few people have a true out-of-body experience. Many people are starting to get near-death experiences, and then they think they see God. Another delusion in their mind. Seeing light and hearing a voice doesn't mean you're standing before God. If you think God has to leave the higher realms where it dwells to come down to this puny little planet, which is like a grain of sand on the ocean, or in the ocean, to talk to you, wake up. Why? What are you doing for God? What's anybody on this planet really doing for God? Well, I'm supposed to find myself. You find yourself by finding God, and then you can understand yourself. If you say you're part of God, what part of God are you? His feet, his nose? I mean, if you believe body parts, its energy, what can you do with your energy? Can you levitate a car, a house, or anything? Can you heal the world? I mean, we work with little people, meaning one person at a time. And those people think they can heal them. All right, nobody has that power. Nobody's gifted. It's only the power that the people believe that you have, which is their own power. Kreskin, one of the greatest magicians who went mainstream public many years when I was a little kid, and I studied with him before I got into hypnosis, said it's the power of suggestion. You could tell anybody they're a bird, a parrot, or a dinosaur, and they'll believe it for a while. It's the power of suggestion. Hitler worked with it. So, now as far as saying healing, well, I'm going to tell you I'll heal you. If you give your energy over to me, you'll believe you got a healing from me, even though it comes from with you. And you only get temporary healings until you work out the karma that created the situation in the first place. How long are you going to live? How much more longer? 5 years, 10 years, 100 years? You're not going to live past 125, first of all. If you want to live that long, you got serious problems because you're going to see all your children die. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine too. If you're afraid to go into the next world, which is probably the real reason, well, time to wake up. Time to figure that out right now. So as we move along on this road of delusion and illusionary, egotistical brain thinking that we're super spiritual beings, prove it. Look at the world. Show me where spirituality is really affecting the planet, being part of the way we think and act. Oh, I think different. What do you think different about? You allowing morals to be taken away. You accept what anybody else says is right. If I told you I wanted to marry a monkey, would you be able to stop me? Yeah, for a while. If 10 million people decided to marry monkeys, we'd change the morals to allow them to marry monkeys. Or a dog, or a cat, or an elephant. I mean, that's how sick we have become. We allow things of what one person wants to overpower what everybody thinks or wants. That's how the Constitution was created, based on the overall idea of what most people wanted. But if you change and infiltrate that thinking, which I won't get into alien races, but some powers have been controlling the thinking of the human race, allows that to happen. And if you go through the Bible, you go through all the stories of every religion, you'll see deities, and deities were playing with sex and all those kind of things. Nothing pertaining to God. So channelers go into this world. They allow these beings, entities, deities, spirits to step in their body, tell them any stupid little story they want to hear, because they all say the same thing. And it's funny, in the past 10 years, they're all coming out. All the abductees are coming out. All the whistleblowers are coming out. It's a time for change? Yeah. But are we changing for the better? Well, if we put the truth out there, nobody's putting the truth out there. They're putting their simple-minded experience based on what they want to believe out there. When you say, I met with Gabriel, Michael, what does he look like, really? How big is he? What's he really saying to you? That he's here to help you? I will end it there, and I will continue this in a few. So it will be part 3. Thank you.